Hello everybody!
Good day everybody, hope you're having a fantastic week.
And welcome to a very special Q&A because it is October and we are currently in Walt Disney World at this moment in time. So instead of not doing a Q&A, we decided to do a special Q&A in regards to when we used to work over at Walt Disney World.
Some of you guys asked a lot of questions regarding our cast member days at Walt Disney World. So we thought we'd get the majority of the most frequently asked ones and we're going to answer them for you right away.
Yeah.
So let's start. What is it, Steph?
When did we work there? So I have done 2 Disney programs. The first one was the International College Program, where I was a custodial over at the Hollywood Studios, which it was MGM Studios at that time, back in 2005. From June to August, that's when I used to work there. And then once I graduated university, I went over to do the CRP over in Epcot, and I worked there from 2008 to 2009.
So I sadly did not do the college program. I've only done the International Cultural Representative program, or the CRP, very similar to Steph. And I did it from August of 2008 till June 2009.
What was your roles?
Our roles were, we were cultural representatives.
Yeah.
We worked in the Rose and Crown. We were first started on the podium area, where people get seated. And then we were waiters, servers, or bartenders.
Bartenders.
As some people were. And we also got to work in the chippy. Got to have some fish and chips.
Chippy! How did we get the job? If you are from the UK, you can apply for a Disney position or any other positions like Universal. I think they do all sorts of programs now, from an agency down in London called Yummy Jobs. We'll leave a link down below of the Yummy Jobs website. It will basically tell you everything of what each program kind of entails and what you need to do, and yeah, it'll have all the information on there for you. Where did we live?
Disney would kind of allocate you to some housing areas that are located in Lake Buena Vista. We lived originally in the Commons, but there are different places that you could possibly live in.
There are 4 different cast member living complexes for the international cast members, which is Vista Way, Chatham, Patterson Court and the Commons. Commons and Patterson Court, that tends to be where the CLPs normally hang out. For the ICPs and the college programmers, they tend to be in the other ones. You do share your flat with other people from different countries, which is absolutely amazing. The living accommodations were fantastic. It's like your rent got taken out of your paycheck, so all of your bills were included in all of that. You had a gym, you had a swimming pool, you had great Wi-Fi actually, and you got great transportation to and from the parks. What was it like living away?
It's great. At first, you kind of get like a little homesick feeling, and then eventually, when you got to Walmart, everything changed. It was a magical place, but yeah, it was amazing. It was great. It was great to be independent, to kind of live on your own.
Yeah,
it was a good stepping stone if you've never done something like that before. For me, it helped me a lot because I've always lived with my parents.
And because you're surrounded with everybody else who is in the same boat, it made it a lot easier, especially when you were homesick.
Yeah, it
was like when I did my college program back in 2005. That was the first time I've actually lived away from home. So instead of going to university like straight away and like living away, I went out of the country. So it was just like, okay, well if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it properly.
Yeah, do it right.
Yeah,
you're gonna do it.
And it was like the best experience that I've ever had, and Florida is our home and it will remain as our home. What was the best experience while working at Walt Disney World?
Best times I ever had was when I was a server, when I was in the restaurant working, and just the thing I used to do, I think I mentioned this before in videos, the thing I used to do a lot was drawing. I loved to do the drawing section, so I used to create chalk on the floors on Disney. I used to draw characters, and I used to do sort of things with guests.
You used to be there on the street in the UK pavilion, literally drawing massive Plutos and Mickey Mouses and all this.
Goofy,
just drawing like crazy. Like, excuse me guys, excuse me, I'm moving out the way.
Yeah, sitting there mouthing to myself, and someone walks over my Mickey Mouse.
Scribble everywhere.
No respect. I took time to draw that.
I think my experiences was just going a little bit further for people and kind of understanding that the place is like a really tiring area. It's a really tiring place, and especially when you've got parents who have just got really tired kids, or kids that are restless and this, that and the other. And when you were serving, you were able to kind of like relieve that stress a little bit, let the kids concentrate on something, and then the parents are like, oh, thank you so much for like giving me this experience of just calming these kids down. Because it can be very overwhelming. So actually going above and beyond for people. What are the good points of working there?
You get to work for Disney, which is pretty much a high point.
And it's pretty good on your CV.
Yeah.
Like, literally, everybody wants to know everything.
You get probably the best training, probably some of the best
Yeah.
benefits any company would probably give to anybody. Like, you could get free entry to parks on your days off. So can you imagine you having a day off when you're at home now? You think, what am I going to do today? You know, and then when we're in Disney, like, oh, well, I'm going to go to Epcot, water park, go to Disney Springs now. You've got so much to choose from.
And you had discounts on food and on merchandise as well. Also, they had appreciation days. Like, every month they would host like a barbecue. Or like bouncy castles and stuff like that backstage. And it was kind of, it is just an appreciation cast member day to say thank you for your hard work. Plus points as well is helping out on volunteering on some things as well. That was probably another one of my really great experiences was I joined the volunteers. The volunteers! Get it?
Is.
Volunteers! I went over and helped with the homeless shelters that they, which Disney have built and created. I came over and educated the kids on, because they've never actually met anybody else from different countries. What are the bad points of working there?
Disney work you to the bone.
I don't want to sound really horrible, it's not a horrible thing.
No.
Like, this, all what we're going to say is pretty much the same thing that you would probably experience from any normal job. You could work possibly about 7 days a week, working possibly about like 12 hours.
Sometimes those days go really quick, sometimes those days go really slow. Sometimes you have, like everybody else in every sort of job, you have good days, you have bad days. You have the one thing that I would say about to counteract with the bad points is that you have a lot of good friends and colleagues to help you.
That was the thing. You always have bad points with any job. The job that we were in, it was bartending and serving, and it is you're in a restaurant. So with the issues that come with restaurants will happen, you know, when you're working at Disney as well. Yeah. So it's the same old points. So we're not really going to rant on about them, but every point had a really strong plus point with it.
There was days when I had really bad days, and I would just walk out and I would feel that heat, and I'd go, do you know what? I could be in worse places.
I've had it where I've worked 12 hours. Absolutely tired, my feet are hurting, it's been raining, I've been outside, sopping wet, and I just want to go home. And then you just interact with some kids before you like go home, and it's like these kids that just make you smile. So even guests make the magic for cast members, because cast members work a long time. They work long hours, and to actually get like feedback or just, you know, a guest interaction to make them smile literally just turns the whole sort of frown upside down, literally. So.
Literally, yeah, it does. Even though you may be having bad stuff, it's great because it can turn you completely, like Steph says.
It's all about the Disney magic. That's how it rolls. Why did you leave?
Sadly,
visa ran out.
Visas ran out. That's the only reason. You get a 1 year, or it could be up to 1 year.
Yeah.
This is more of embassy sort of
thing.
Yeah,
this is actually a US embassy sort of thing, so it's fixed time periods.
Yes.
Do you now see Disney in a different light when you return?
Yeah, you do. You do see it in a different light, but it's more of...
I think it's for the better.
Yeah, it's for the better, but you see it more for the cast members of how much work they do, because obviously we're in the same shoes as them, and so you kind of want to give that, you know...
appreciation to them.
You know, when you see Mickey Mouse, you don't just see Mickey Mouse, you see the person with the camera who's taking the picture, you see the cast member who directs you, so you kind of appreciate them just as much as you appreciate Mickey Mouse and any other character, you know, and the people who do the parade, there's other dancers, there's so many more people who are doing other stuff than just...
It's like the custodials when you see them in the toilets as well, cleaning, and you know, I've always, you know, smiled and said hi to them and said you're doing a great job, because I've been in that situation before, you know, and you know, you're just working like long hours and you're just cleaning up a toilet and it's just not very magical.
Another example is when you go to a restaurant and you can tell that the server who's serving you is a little bit busy. We just say to them, look, take your time. Don't rush. We know what you're doing. You
know, the amount of times that we've now actually said that we used to be cast members, but a lot of people actually go, oh, where do you work? And then it's like, oh, we used to work here. And it's like, I can tell because the way that you present yourself, it's like, it's okay.
So we appreciate every bit of detail that the Disney company do.
And there's the reasons why they do things. So.
Yeah. And they deserve a lot more appreciation than
credit
for what they do. While you're there, people, you need to do us a favour, and every time you're there meeting a character, or you know, someone's having a bad day, just say they're doing a good job. And it will help them.
Making the magic for our vacation. Thank you so much.
Exactly, and they will appreciate it, and that will stir them on to keep doing what they're doing and keep working hard. So,
would you apply to go to Disney again?
I would, only if the visa was a full-time green card.
If I never met you, because before we were actually dating, I was in talks and had plans to go onto the Disney Cruise Line as an entertainer for there, because I was in talks with someone who worked for Disney Cruise Line, and I met him, and then I was like, oh, okay, maybe not living in a shoebox, you know, for 6 months, you know, it's not a great thing, but I think I would have carried on, because now we're together. I would work for the Disney company, no matter where it was, whether it was in America or in the UK, I would 100% work for them. I think I kind of know the whole genie gig of genie gig. The whole genie gig of what's entailed, the ups and downs from it all and what have you, but actually working for an actual corporation like that.
To me, I would want to work for a Disney company, but the condition would be if it was in Florida and it would be full time. I wouldn't mind being a server again. I wouldn't mind I would do pretty much anywhere in Disney. I would like to work. I think I would
do a different program altogether.
Yeah,
because that's when I did the international college program, when I came back to do the CRP, it was like, right, I've done the college program now, I don't need to do it again because that was my experience, and then I'm going to try a different experience. So if I was to do it again, it would be a completely different program.
Possibly attractions would probably be one thing I like to do. That would be quite something cool. But if anyone's watching from Disney and they have any jobs, please come. As long as you accept 2 rabbits from the UK, then it's fine.
So there we go, there is a summary of questions that people ask.
Thanks very much for watching this video, guys, and we really appreciate all the questions that you guys have constantly asked us, and we hope this helps maybe inspire you guys to possibly apply for the program. If you have, if you want to get in touch with us, okay, you can talk to us via social media or the comments, and we'll try our best to answer as many as we can. As possible, If you have any questions that are kind of like, a bit more detail, then ask us. So comment down below.
But yeah, the link Yummy Jobs, that will have every single detail. I think they're on Facebook and Twitter as well. So if there is any questions that you wanted to ask regarding those programs, they are your best bet, because we did it about like 8 years ago. So the application process has changed, definitely.
Again, guys, if you enjoyed this type of videos, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. We really much appreciate it. Also hit the red subscribe button. It's free. You get to know when our next vacation videos will be out, which
very soon.
Very soon. So excited. Thanks very much for watching this episode, guys, and we'll see you next one. Bye.